This is your 240 Q&A time writing at 240 words per minute. Your proper names are AFS, Automated Firearms System, Department of Justice, DOJ, People 6. What is that? DK31243?
It's a license plate number.
Okay, DK31243, Inglewood PD, Inglewood, Hawthorne PD, Los Angeles County, 25 caliber, Ziploc, Deputy Garcia, and Peoples 2. Ready? What is that?
It is called the AFS, which is short for Automated Firearms System.
How do entries get put into the Automated Firearms System?
They get put in through several different ways, through different police department agencies throughout the state.
What about when somebody goes to a gun shop? Does the waiting period applies for the gun and buys it? Is it entered into a system then?
Yes, that is done through the Department of Justice.
And that is done by the gun shop owner?
It goes through the gun shop owner through DOJ.
Can you tell us what the serial number is on the gun that's People 6 in this case? First of all, tell us where it is so we could find it if we needed to.
It's along right here.
Is it on the left side of the barrel above the trigger area?
Yes.
What is the serial number on this gun?
It is DK31243.
Did you do anything with that serial number after recovering the gun in this case?
Yes. I ran the serial number through my mobile computer in my vehicle, which is linked to AFS.
Is that something you do whenever you recover a firearm?
Yes.
Why were you interested in that information?
That gives you all the history on the handgun.
What information did you receive when you put this gun's serial number into your computer?
The return on this gun, it had been stolen, and it was reported stolen to Inglewood PD. Inglewood or Hawthorne PD, I forget.
Somewhere in Los Angeles County?
Yes.
Do you remember the date that the gun was reported stolen?
Not off the top of my head.
When you put a serial number of a gun into AFS, when you receive a result, does it give you the particulars of that gun, like a 25 caliber or some other type of gun?
It gives you the serial number, the caliber, the make, the barrel length, the color.
Did all of that information that you received from AFS coincide with the gun that you were actually looking at the time?
Yes.
Can you go ahead and place the gun back in the large envelope? I think all the magazines went back in the separate envelope.
Okay.
Thank you. After you observed all the items that we've just been talking about and looking at, what did you do?
We recovered them.
And did you have the opportunity at some point to discuss the items that you found in the house with the defendant?
Yes.
First of all, did you ask him about the gun?
Yes.
When you asked him about the gun, were you already in receipt of the information from AFS that the gun had been reported stolen?
Yes.
What did he tell you about the gun?
He said that he had bought it from someone on the street for $50.
Did he have any opinion about whether it had been stolen or not?
When I asked him, what he thought about it since he bought it on the street for $50, he said, yeah, he figured it was stolen.
Did you also ask him about the marijuana that you observed on the table in the room?
Yes.
And I guess all the other items that were associated with it. What did he say about that?
He just said he was selling a little marijuana on the side to make some extra money.
Now, at any point, did the defendant direct you to any other narcotic items that you hadn't already found?
Yes.
How did that happen?
While talking to him, we asked if he had a car. He said there was a car right out in front of the location parked along the curb, and somehow we figured that was his car, or he told us. I don't remember exactly. As we were talking to him, he said there was more marijuana in the vehicle, and he gave us permission to go in the vehicle and get it.
Did you find anything in there?
Yes.
What did you find inside the car?
It was a plastic bag. It was sitting on the back seat of the vehicle covered by a jacket. And in that plastic bag was 2 Ziploc baggies containing marijuana, and then just a large chunk of marijuana.
Okay, Deputy Garcia, I'm showing you what we've marked as Peoples 2 for identification. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What are we looking at here?
It's a white plastic bag, and in that bag are 2 clear plastic Ziploc baggies containing marijuana, and within that white bag is also a large chunk of marijuana.
Is this the baggie and contents that you found in the defendant's car on January 14th?
Yes.
How can we know that it's the same items?
I believe my initials are on the baggies, just barely see them.
Do you do that as a matter of course?
Yes.
Is that to keep track of items that otherwise look like other items?
Correct.
Now, I think we dealt with this probably for the most part earlier when we were talking about your training and experience, but have you had specific experience in determining in the course of an investigation whether a particular group of narcotics is possessed for purposes of sale versus personal use?
Yes.
And do you have an opinion in this case as to whether the marijuana that you found in the defendant's house and in his car was possessed for purposes of sale versus personal use?
It's definitely for sales.
What makes you say that?
Several things. For one, it's obviously a large amount of marijuana, obviously more than the normal person would ingest in a day or two. The defendant did not appear to be under influence of marijuana that day. I didn't find any marijuana smoking paraphernalia in his vehicle or in his house. All the marijuana within his house was individually wrapped for easy street sales. They were all the packages were about the same weight. He had the scale, which is used to weigh out the marijuana. If he was using it for his personal use, it wouldn't matter how much it weighed, each baggie anyways. He had a large amount of money sitting with the marijuana in small denominations, which is common, when you sell with the money. He also had another large chunk of marijuana, which he hadn't bagged up yet in his vehicle. And simply his statements.
If I told you to assume for purposes of a hypothetical, if I told you that you observed all of the things that you told us you observed, and you knew that there was heavy foot and car traffic into the location throughout the day until late at night, would that support or undermine your opinion that the marijuana was possessed for sales?
That would definitely support my opinion.
This is your Q&A time writing, your first one at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Mr. Lager, RB Enterprises, Dr. Robert Nevin, North Olive Street, Los Angeles, Dr. Nevin Olive, RB Apartments, Lemon, Mrs. Province, and Apartment A. Ready? On April 26, 1992, Mr. Lager, what was your occupation?
Property manager.
And for whom were you employed?
RB Enterprises.
Who was connected with that organization? Who was the owner of it?
That I have never truthfully known who was the owner.
What person was your actual employer at the time?
Dr. Robert Nevin.
You are still employed by him?
No.
Are you no longer employed by RB Enterprises?
No.
When did you leave that employment?
Saturday morning or Friday afternoon.
Last Friday?
Yes.
What was the reason for leaving?
A change of management.
The management of RB Enterprises?
In that piece of property.
A piece of property owned by RB Enterprises?
That's right.
What would the address of that piece of property be?
I would say 829 North Olive Street in Los Angeles.
When you say a change of management, you mean that you were replaced by another manager?
That is what I understand.
Is that what you mean?
That's right.
Do you know what the reason for that was?
No, I don't.
When were you advised that you were going to be replaced?
Approximately between the 10th and 12th. No, it was after the 15th of last month.
After the 15th of May?
That's right, yes.
Who told you that you were going to be replaced?
Dr. Robert Nevin.
What did he say?
He just said that they were making a change, and that is all that was said.
He didn't say why?
No.
At no time were you told why a change was being made?
No.
Do you have any idea why the change was made?
No, I don't, sir.
No one, whether it be Dr. Robert Nevin or anyone else, has ever told you the reason for a change being made?
No.
Are you employed at this time?
No, I am not.
When were you hired by Dr. Nevin?
I was never hired by him that I can remember. Let's see. Who was it? Yes, he was the one that hired me. That was early 85.
Did you receive a salary?
Yes.
How much did you receive?
$500 a month.
In addition to that, did you get a good deal on your rent, or did you get rent free, or what?
Rent free.
And your apartment was at 829 Olive?
Right.
Did you live there during the whole time you were employed by RB Enterprises?
At that one particular address, I lived on the property since then, yes.
How long did you live at 829 North Olive?
3 years.
Was it a condition of your employment that you live on the premises somewhere?
Yes, that's right.
In other words, required to live somewhere there on the premises.
Right.
They assigned you a place to live?
Right.
When Dr. Nevin hired you back in 1985, did he outline your duties to you?
I couldn't remember whether he did or not, because I do know my job.
I presume that someone told you at some time what you were going to do as the manager of the premises?
No, I don't think I was ever told.
How did you happen to get the job?
Just go around looking for a job like this. You see something being built and you just walk in and apply for it.
Is that what you did in this case?
Yes.
The apartments had just been built?
Yes.
And you went in and talked to Dr. Nevin?
No. The first man I talked to was the construction superintendent, and then he introduced me to Robert Nevin.
Did Dr. Nevin at any time ever outline your duties to you?
Nobody ever told me what I had to do.
Had you been an experienced manager of property before?
Oh, yes.
How long had you worked as a manager of property before 1985?
6 years, 5 years, about 5 years actually.
So you pretty much understood what the duties of a manager in that situation were.
Right.
What did you conceive them to be?
Collection of rent and maintenance of the property.
What would be the extent of your duties with regard to maintaining the property as you understood them?
I don't understand what you mean.
You said your duties would include maintaining the property. What would that mean?
Repairing, painting, electrical work, plumbing, etc.
Did you have any duties in connection with maintaining the property in a safe condition?
Well, I would assume that I did, yes.
So that if there was some unsafe condition that came to your attention, presumably you would have the duty of correcting it.
Yes,
Did Dr. Nevin pay you by check?
that's right.
Did he take out withholding?
That's right.
Were you covered by workers' compensation insurance?
I would assume so. I don't know. I am not familiar with that.
Did Dr. Nevin at any time himself reside on the premises?
No,
He never did?
no.
I am not specifically talking necessarily about 829 Olive, but I mean in the whole complex somewhere.
No, he didn't live there at all.
What area did the land or the property over which you had control extend?
What do you mean by that?
What property did you have control of?
All of RB Apartments.
Give us the boundaries or some description of it if you can.
The 800 block of Olive and Lemon.
All right, Lemon was in North-South Street.
Yes, they both are north-south.
Olive was in North-South Street.
Right.
The premises were located, in part at least, between Olive and Lemon.
Yes.
You had control over those premises, did you?
Yes.
Were there any particular areas on these premises that were restricted to particular people? In other words, where, say, tenants couldn't walk?
No, there wasn't. People had freedom to walk where they pleased, except that most people stayed on their own area, you know?
You were familiar with where Mrs. Province lived, were you?
Yes.
Did she live in an apartment at the complex?
Yes.
At the time of the accident, which occurred on April 26, 1992, did you live in apartment A at 829 Olive?
That's right.
Mrs. Province lived there with her husband, did she?
No, she didn't live at 829.
I'm sorry, at 828, apartment A?
Yes.
With whom did you live at 829 Olive?
With my wife.
Anyone else?
No.
Did Dr. Nevin ever have occasion to say anything at all to you with regard to your duties?
No.
Are you employed at? This is your second Q&A time writing at 225 words per minute. Your proper names are Jimmy, Stephen Chase, Melvin Drucker, Johnson, Memorial, Taft, Flamingo, Pines, Washington, Doctors Hospital, Memorial Hospital, Dr. Chase, Dr. Drucker, Toyota of Hollywood, X, Florida, and Class E. Ready? It had one of those, I'm going to call it a dual cab, where it had a passenger section in the back.
I don't recall. I just know they make that. I know what kind of truck it was. I don't recall. It was a Jimmy.
A Jimmy?
Yes.
Was emergency or any type of rescue brought to the scene of the accident?
No.
You indicated that you had some kind of injury to your right knee. Did you receive any care or treatment for that?
Yes.
What care or treatment did you receive?
I had to go to a doctor.
I noted that in your answers to interrogatories, you indicated two doctors that you saw previously. One was a Stephen Chase and the other was a Melvin Drucker. Were either of those two doctors the treating doctors for this accident back in 95?
Both of them.
Other than the right knee, did you have any other injury or injuries as a result of the accident in 95?
No, sir.
What problems did you have, in common layman terms, did you have as a result of that 95 accident?
I had 2 torn ligaments in my right knee.
Did you have any surgery?
Yes.
Dr. Drucker did the surgery?
Yes.
Where did you have the surgery?
Memorial. What's the one over there off of Johnson?
Do you remember the cross street?
Taft. No, not Taft.
How about if I give you this, Flamingo and Pines?
No, it wasn't that. It's off of 441 off of Washington. They did an outpatient there. You make a left when you get to Washington and keep straight down.
So if you are going south on 441, you make the left on Washington?
Yes. Coming up 441 this way, you make a right and then you turn and keep straight.
That's Doctor's Hospital?
No, it's Memorial Hospital, if I can recall.
You had the surgery. It was at this hospital. Were you in the hospital overnight or just for the surgery and then you were discharged?
Outpatient.
You received physical therapy?
Yes.
And did you treat with anybody other than Dr. Chase and Dr. Drucker?
That's all I can remember.
That injury, that was the reason for the 95 lawsuit, correct?
Yes.
Did you go to trial in that lawsuit?
No.
It was resolved. It settled?
Yes.
Did you receive monetary compensation for that?
Yes.
Did you claim that you had a permanent injury to any part of your body as a result of that 95 accident?
No.
Let me ask it again. The question is, did you claim any permanent injury to your body as a result of the 95 accident and subsequent lawsuit?
The 95?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, in the knee.
So as best as you can recall, you probably did claim a permanent injury from the 95 accident. Would that be correct?
On the right knee?
Correct.
Yes.
After 95 and after the end of the lawsuit, did you have any continuing problem with your right knee?
After I had the surgery, it was okay. It used to swell sometime.
Before or after the surgery?
After, a little. I guess that was because of the surgery.
Other than the swelling that occurred from time to time after the surgery, any other problems?
No.
Any limitations, such as your ability to move your leg to where you had before the accident? Any limitations?
No.
Any pain sensations after the surgery?
Right after the surgery, but after a while, it was okay.
Other than that accident and that lawsuit, are you aware of any other lawsuit that you may have been a party to before the incident at Toyota of Hollywood?
No.
Again, before the incident at Toyota of Hollywood, had you had any type of slip and fall, any other auto accident, any trauma to your body? Whether you received medical care or not is not a question, is whether you had any traumas.
No, sir.
Other than the one for 95.
Right.
We're going to talk now after the incident at Toyota of Hollywood.
Okay.
Had you been a party to any lawsuit since the filing of this lawsuit?
No, sir.
Had you had or experienced any trauma to your body, slip and fall, auto accident, anything like that since the incident at Toyota of Hollywood?
No, sir.
Have you ever claimed workers' compensation benefits for whatever reason since you have been employed at any employer?
No, sir.
Before the accident at Toyota of Hollywood, did you have any type of routine exercise plan or procedure that you were engaged in?
I used to walk, go to the mall, go to the movies, go out to eat.
The walking, let me be specific about that. Was there a specific routine that you had, and this would be before the incident at Toyota of Hollywood?
Specifically?
Correct. And what I mean by specific is that, on a very routine basis, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, or anything in between, you would walk X amount.
I would get on the treadmill.
Okay, how often?
Twice a week, 2 times, 3 times a week.
And for how long would you be on the treadmill?
30 minutes, 15 minutes.
Is that 3 times a week or 2 times?
Like 2, 3 times a week.
Anything else that you had as an exercise regimen or program before the Toyota of Hollywood incident other than the treadmill?
Just walking.
Standing?
Walking, generally just walking.
And that would be such as when you are going to the movies, going to dinner.
Right. At my job, for instance, I did a lot of walking on my job. I can't do that as well anymore.
Okay, have you ever been convicted of a criminal matter that carried a sentence of 1 year or more, or it could have been a misdemeanor, but it dealt with the truthfulness or honesty?
No.
Ever filed for bankruptcy?
No, sir.
Your Florida driver's license, it's a Class E driver's license. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
And what does that mean?
I haven't a clue.
What are your hours of work?
8 to 4:30.
And that would be typically Monday through Friday?
Yes.
Before this incident, were there other routines that you would engage in either before work or after work?
Before work, nothing before work. Nothing but sometimes, take that back. Before work, getting up in the morning, prepare my husband's breakfast, and going back to work, preparing food for him after work. I can't